Hello and good morning, everyone present here. Well, every year, 1st to 7th of August is being celebrated as the World Breastfeeding Week. The World Breastfeeding Week was first celebrated in the year 1992 by the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action. Today, being the 5th of August, Asian Institute of Nursing Education is organizing this webinar as part of the World Breastfeeding Week celebration. First of all, I'd like to welcome our ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Unmona Borgohain Saikia, Principal of Asian Institute of Nursing Education, Dean Faculty of Nursing, Srimanta Sankardeva, University of Health Sciences, Assam. I welcome you, ma'am, to this very event. Next, I'd like to welcome ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Ranju Rani Das. I welcome you, ma'am, to this very event. Our Vice Principal at that time, did you hear me?
Yes, you can speak now. You can continue.
Okay. Next, I'd like to welcome all the teachers, the faculty members of Asian Institute of Nursing Education. Welcome, ma'am, to this very event. Today in this webinar, we are having 4 speakers who will be speaking on various issues, various topics related to breastfeeding. These speakers are Ms. Sunita Hajong, Ms. Itune Kwame, Ms. Dasminan Kongshe, and Ms. Chainika Chiang Mai. These 4 are the second year post-basic nursing students of AINE. So I welcome you, dear speakers, to this very event. And I'd like to welcome all the our ma'am principal, Dr. Mrs. Unmona Borgohain Saikia, to kindly deliver the speech.
Thank you very much. Good morning to one and all. And I congratulate the organizing committee, pediatric department, and the post-basic students for taking this initiative. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, when I'm seeing you all, I'm seeing the 206 murders in front of me now. So, I'm not going to talk about like the murders who are in the community, who are the society. At least you, the 206 persons are here. Of course, there may be some, the male person also. I'm considering all female only. Okay, the male also have got the responsibility already shared, Rasmi shared. So like, I really wonder today while I was coming from home to office, why it is need to be discussed. Reading. This is the rights every birth that take every life that they can have their breast milk. For the animals, for everyone, they are, the who are the mammals, they are having the breast milk. Being human, being the most intelligent creature of this world, why we have to talk about breast importance of breast milk, I really surprised. However, it is in 1990 World Health Organization started to have the discussion on the breastfeeding week, right? So like what I feel, the response will start when? It is not the time when the baby delivered. It is the time from the when the girl attained the puberty. So when the growth will come, then she has to take care of her health. She has to take the appropriate nutrition. A girl can do anything, not only the child rearing or child delivering. She has many responsibility. She can do anything. Then we can see now in the sports, the lady from India are making so much of records. She can do many things, and out of that exceptional one, that she also can deliver a baby and she can rear and she can grow the baby in a lab. So this is something very significant, and we have to see how importantly how we can support her to have the healthy baby. And already we know what is there in the breast milk, right? So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm saying when we are preparing a mother, even before marriage, just before marriage or just after marriage, so psychological, physical preparation is very, very important. very important. And particularly, I would like to say, when a baby is born, and the baby used to suck the mother's breast, that is the first connection, emotional connection is developed. This is very important. We all are good or bad, happy or sad, whatever it is not defined by our property we have. We always it defined by the happiness we have. Okay, peace we have in us, that we say I'm fine today when our mind is happy. So for that, to develop the happy mind, where we need to start, we need to start from here. When we are delivering a baby, and the baby need to be fed, the connection will develop both mother and child, and that is the most secure relationship. That is the most important thing we have to remember. Some the young ladies, they say, if I feed my baby, my health will not look good, and she will look more good only. Actually, both physically, mentally, like she will be looking very good. So that we have to focus. Being we are a nursing personnel, we have to tell them this is very vital to her, that you have to take care of how you can feed your baby. That is one. The second thing is the share lady, when she wants to have the breastfeeding, many times she, oh my God, this is like, she does not think it is a very important task she has to do. Even a family member, they do not think, okay, she's going for breastfeeding now, don't disturb. It is no one been, I don't think that people has got that kind of mindset. We have to give a complete time, complete privacy to the lady, because she has a newborn baby. Up to even 6 months, she should have a timing and schedule. During this time, she will not be disturbed. Physically, mentally, socially, the mother should not be disturbed. That is very, very important. Because many times a mother, the baby in her lap, she will be cooking, she'll be doing something right hand, left hand. That is not at all done. When you are eating your food, putting your eyes on the TV, television, it does not work. Your food does not work properly. Actually, you have to pray to God. You have to look at your food. Then you have to swallow your food. You have to have full concentration. So also, when you're feeding the baby just mechanically, baby may fill up the stomach but may not fill up the heart. So it is very important for every family member to give some time, and this is the absolute time for the mother and baby, so that she can feed comfortably without having hurdles and stress in the mind. This is the one thing I feel, that when we are talking with the people, the mother, we have to talk this, and with the family. And I will say, if I 200 the people who are in front of me, if you remember when you are going to get married and having baby, that this is the very important, the God gifted relationship, God gifted opportunity, you are not going to miss, and you are going to cherish this moment. You are going to give absolute time, physically, mentally, to your baby when you are going to breastfeed, right? So you have to set the example so that others will follow you. The next thing, coming to talk about the breastfeeding of the child, I really wonder, like, the organization must have the provision of the baby care center. It may happen so sometimes the baby may be taken from home and feed, or the mother can go, or whatever it is. So this kind of opportunity also should be open. And particularly, not only the professional organization, even I see in the lady who are working at home, who are at home, they are also not given the time. She has been bombardment with all this responsibility, who are going to paddy field, or who are engaged at the home. So no such specific time has been given. So working lady who are working at office, the organization must have the facilities, nowadays so many things have been emphasized for every organization, for a handicapped person, this person, that person, but this has really been ignored from I feel like organizations should make it available. These are the things I feel. And particularly, I really again wonder, very soon, that we have to think something else, particularly for this day, how we can celebrate the World Breastfeeding Day. And we have to really encourage and encourage the mothers to be knowledge about and particularly who are undergoing cesarean, how soon they can start. It's our nurses' responsibility. How soon they can start the breastfeeding, how they have to prepare the breast, that they have to take care of the breast. Okay, they also, mother also have also need to develop the emotional bonding with our own breast and need to take care of. That is very important part. So because this is the source of food for the baby and preventing all infection, nutrition, and of course, again and again, I'll say emotional bonding. So I appreciate that you all are coming forward to talk many topics that you have been taken this challenge by the students. I wish all the best, and your discussion will be fruitful. And I'm going to listen to you and going to learn from you. And all the best, organizer. This is all on my side. Thank you once again. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable contribution, for your motivational, encouraging speech. Thank you once again, ma'am. Just a quick reminder, if any of us have not muted our microphone, kindly do it, please, because it's really disturbing when somebody is speaking except the speaker. So thank you. So moving on, now we'll go into the next session. That is, we'll have the presentation by the speaker. The first topic here we have: breastfeeding means a joyful journey between the mother and the baby. Importance of support to the breastfeeding mother. So I request Ms. Sunita Hajong to please present her topic on this very topic, to kindly present her presentation. And over to you, Ms. Sunita.
Thank you very
Hajong.
much. Good morning to all the tutors present here, all the teachers from INE are present in this platform, and also good morning to all the participants. Today, I'm going to set some lights on the topic breastfeeding. Besides being a student of post-basic BSc nursing, I also love to define myself as a mother. I'm a mother of a 4-year-old baby. So according to me, I feel like I will be able to genuinely shed some lights or give some knowledge on the topic of breastfeeding. So let me start sharing my slide. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Actually, I am unable to share the slide. The only host is allowed. Can you allow me to share the slide, please? Okay, thank you. Is my slide visible?
Yes. Yes.
Hello? Okay. We know that every year, the first week of August, we celebrate it as a World Breastfeeding Week. In fact, according to me, every week is a breastfeeding week because I'm a mother and I can understand how important breastfeeding is. But anyway, this week is however, this week, as we are celebrating the world's best breastfeeding week, this is the best opportunity for us. This is the best time for us so that we can share our knowledge. We can encourage the mothers to breastfeed. And also at the same time, not only the mothers, as the theme goes, that it is a shared responsibility. It is also the responsibility for the other members of the society, besides the mothers, to know the importance of breastfeeding, and also to support them in whatever ways they can. So the topic goes like that. You can see the mother in the picture, you can see the mother and the baby. They are sitting together, mother is breastfeeding, and she looks so happy, isn't it? So breastfeeding, it means a joyful journey, according to me, and it is a joyful journey between the mother and the baby. And there are many reasons why it is a joyful journey. The first thing is that you are, as Ma'am Unmona, our Madam Dr. Unmona Gohai also said already, that it is a fact that we, the women, we are blessed with the power to produce milk so that we can feed our baby. And that milk is so perfect that no other additional food, no other liquids, no other extra edible things is required for the baby till the age of 6 months. So this is a very important, and we need to celebrate the fact. So when you hold the baby for the first time in your arm, you breastfeed your own baby, you will realize the fact, you will learn to celebrate the power that, oh yes, you are gifted with a very important power that no other in the world except a woman, except a mother can feed a hungry baby. That also in such a way that that it is perfect for the baby. Is this not the reason enough that it is a joyful journey, that to create a joy in your mind? I think so. For me, it is. And secondly, when we breastfeed, oxytocin and prolactins, it gets secreted in the body. And this, when this oxytocin and prolactins are secreted in the body, it has a very hormonal effect in our body that it helps the mother. It helps the mother to relax. It helps the mother to relax, to make her more emotional towards her baby. And for the baby, it is what I observe is that for a baby, only just sucking to mother's breast milk is not only a matter of fulfilling his hunger. Actually, you must have noticed when the baby cries, the only solution is that breast milk. When baby cries, the only solution is breast milk. When the mother allows crying baby to to suck on her breast, then the baby keeps quiet. So it is emotional bonding also, and moreover, it is a sense of security for the baby. So you can relate to that you are the only thing, you are the support, you are the emotional support, physical support for your baby. And breastfeeding, it provides the time so that the bonding will be more strong. In fact, I will say, like, there is almost nothing you can do for your child in this whole life that will affect him both emotionally and physically as profoundly as breastfeeding. So I will say that breastfeeding, according to me, breastfeeding, it is the only and the best thing that you can give to the baby in his entire life. That is going to affect him both physically and emotionally. So why is breastfeeding so important? We may have read, because since most of our participants are from the nursing field, medical field, so we know why it is important. I'm not going to talk about the breastfeeding, but in other way, I would like to highlight the topic. For the baby, you can see, for the baby, it is a perfect food. You are producing the perfect food for the baby. Breast milk is a perfect food. In fact, as no additional food is required, even not a water is required till the baby reaches the month of 6 months. And moreover, the magic of the breast milk is that the breast milk keeps on changing according to the age of the baby, so that will be met according to his stage of life. Like, for instance, during the birth, this colostrum is very high. It enables him to prevent from infections. Till the age of 6 weeks, it becomes a high, the concentration is high of antibodies, so that it will prevent the baby from infections. Breast milk is more concentrated with the calories, so that it will help the baby to develop his milestones. Till the age of 6 months, now the baby's brain is working and is more the omega acid. And in this way, till the age of 12, the composition of the breast milk keeps on changing, so that the baby will get the best nutrient and according to the need of the baby. Isn't it so amazing? Okay, that is the benefit for the baby. Now for the mother. A mother, most of the postpartum, after delivery, most of the mother struggle struggle to shed their weights that they gain during the pregnancy period. So breastfeeding is also one of the ways how you can, one of the effective ways that it helps to overcome this postpartum obesity, because you are using your because the calories and the fats that is in the body will be utilized for the production of breast milk. So in that way, you are feeding the baby, and some amount of fat is reduced from the body, and it helps you to keep healthy and to return to the pre-pregnancy stage. Now, for the family, how it is convenient. For the family, it is so important because nowadays we can understand that the formula feedings, there are so many, plenty of formula feedings. And being a parent, you will not compromise with the cheap formula feedings. You will like to buy the best one for your baby. So in that course, you are spending thousands of money. And moreover, the convenience is different thing. The energy, the dedication that you require while preparing the food, preparing the breast formula feeding is needless to say. But if you are breastfeeding your baby, you are, anytime you can breastfeed the baby, and the food, the breast milk is at the right temperature. So it is convenient for the family also. It is cost effective. It is convenient. And for the society, how it is helpful. It is observed that the babies who are breastfed, they fall sick less often. They fall sick less often, and they will grow up to be a healthy adults. So they are the assets for the country, for the society. Now, as we have seen, why it is so important for breastfeeding and why it is so important. Now, let's see. We have come to know the importance of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is enough? I don't think so. Because you may know there are certain foods which are very rich in nutrition that is good for health. But what if you don't get the facility? What if you don't get the support? And benefits of breast milk, both for the mother, for the baby, for the society, for the family. But the thing is that what if you don't support? So now the question will arise in your mind. Why does she need support? Most of the people, they think that breast milk for a mother, but being a mother, I can say, yes, we need support in every field. We are tired physically, emotionally, and sometimes we expect that some other family members, the society, will help us. But many people will think that breastfeeding is the domain of a mother. Yes, I do agree. It is the domain of a mother, but other family members also, other members of the society also help her in many ways. So how can you help? Let's see. This is the survey and a social networking. They can support. She needs support in workplace and employments in response to crisis or emergency. Government and legislation also can do so many things to support a breastfeeding mother, and healthcare systems. Needless to say, the importance of healthcare system in this field. I'll be discussing one by one. Okay. Now, if I say breastfeeding is a family affair, you may laugh, you may think, how? Breastfeeding is a family affair. Yes, still I will say breastfeeding is a family affair. When you breastfeed the baby, the time, yes, breastfeeding is free, of course. Many people say that it is free of cost. Yes, it is free of cost, but only if you think that mother's time is useless. The time that mother spends, we say the time is the most valuable thing, is the most costliest thing, the most valuable thing in the world, time. Money you can earn, time if gone, you cannot earn. So the time that the mother needs to spend with the baby, so she is paying the costliest thing to breastfeed her baby. And in that process, she needs support from her husband, from her parents, from the society, from the employers, from her boss. When she is breastfeeding, Sissy is so tired. breastfeeding. Being a mother, I can explain. I myself, I have, you're so tired, you are breastfeeding the baby. You sleep in one side in lateral position the whole day, and in the morning you wake up with a body ache. And at the same time, if she is she continues to and no one helps her, and if she needs to continue with her household work as usual, then just you can imagine how pathetic it will be for her. So when she is breastfeeding, her husband or other family members can help her to do the household works. So in that way, the family members can help her. Then needless to say about the sleepless nights that a mother suffers. Most of the babies, they sleep during the daytime. Then at nighttime, early in the morning, like 1 a.m., sometimes 2 p.m., they will wake up. Then they will not allow the mother to sleep. And by the morning, they will sleep again. So if someone from your family is there, if you get the support from the family, someone can stay awake with her. Ask her whether she needs some help. Ask her whether she needs, because the baby, they love to stay in skin to skin contact. And that skin to skin contact that not only the mother, even a father and other family members also can give to a baby. Help her once the mother is done with the breastfeeding, the baby can, the father can, or the other family members can help the mother, help the breastfeeding mother to hold the baby so that the mother can take rest, because she had a sleepless night. So morning, at least give some time for her to rest. The baby can be taken out for a walk with the other family members like grandmom, auntie, uncle, so that the mother can take rest and she will be prepared for the next struggle. So those are the points in which we can help, the family members can help a breastfeeding mother. Now in workplace and environment, since I'm a mother and at the same time I was also of course I'm a student now, but I was also a working woman, so I can understand the problems that we face in workplace and in workplace and from the employment. So because we are working, you can see in the picture, she is Larissa Water. She is a MP from the Australian Senate, and she is breastfeeding her baby in the parliament session. So it is very wonderful. She is doing the right job and she is doing her duty. And at the same time, the government has also supported her by providing the legal rights for her to breastfeed the baby. So it will be in a workplace also. I mean to say, in workplace also, there are many things that the mother needs support, like the pressure of the work. I don't say that being a mother, so because you are a mother, I don't expect that you will be given less work. But there are certain circumstances where you can understand the mother. She may take some breaks, half hour between the work, so that she can go to breastfeed her baby, or someone can bring the baby to her place so that she can breastfeed her baby. So in that way, in workplace, and if there is understanding in the between the co-workers, then it is easy for her to breastfeed. In public place, it is seen that only 6% of the mother in India are okay with the breastfeeding in the public areas. The reasons are many. Why? Because to speak frankly, in the society like India, in Indian society, breast is just it indicates a sexuality, but we have to understand and accept the fact that babies are born to be breastfed and not for the formula fed. And the hunger of the baby is not going to wait till you get the private space where no one will look at you. It is not such. Baby can cry, baby feel hungry, can cry anytime, and a mother needs to breastfeed her. At public, she faces so many uncomfortable things. Like the first and foremost, the first one is that they will keep on staring her. If a mother is breastfeeding, many people doesn't hesitate to stare her, and it makes her uncomfortable. So she doesn't take it normally. Consider it normally. She is doing her job. Take it normally, and do not take it in like we have to change our mindset. And for And for this purpose, we have to make aware of more and more people that breastfeeding is a normal thing, and that we have to encourage more and more mothers to breastfeed, so that when the more and more mother will breastfeed in public, less people will, and no one will notice them, because all are practicing. So I am also practicing. They will feel more comfortable. So in that way, we need also a breastfeeding mother also needs support in a public place from the government and the legislation. In India, there are no such any specific legal rules for the breastfeeding mothers, but there are programs. Like recently in 2016, there is a program launched. It is called MA, that Mother's Absolute Affection. It works by encouraging about breastfeeding, helping the health workers, or directing the health workers how to initiate and the direction so that the exclusive breastfeeding is implemented. But in government job, in the government sector, mothers get 6 months of 6 months of medical maternity leave. That too recently, that is in 2016 or 17. But before that one, since before that, we are aware of the breast milk, but we didn't get such facility. We were advocating about the exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months since many years, but the government, I was breastfeeding my baby I was exclusively breastfeeding my baby till the age of 4 months, because that is only the leave that I got during that my time. And then, it's a very good news that now the mothers are getting the benefit of 6 months, so that she can practice exclusive breastfeed for the baby and can take proper care for her. And moreover, according to me, there must be some more government interventions so that we can protect, promote, and support breastfeeding. Like there are certain rules, certain laws are there. Like if 50% of the women are female employee, the government have to set the government orders to have a crèche breastfeeding facility. But why we wait till the 50 numbers? According to me, every government institution where the woman is working, they should have every railway station. Of course, there are certain railway stations and some airports which have there, but it is according to their own concern and according to their own policy. They have that baby breastfeeding corner. But in government, in Assam also recently, I have searching materials for the topic. When I was searching materials for the topic, I found that in 2016, the famous Assamese actress Angur Lata Deka, she is a MP in 2016, and she was demanding for the breastfeeding corner in the assembly. So we can imagine that in paper and pen, so many works, so many rules can be, but in practically we are still lagging. So from the government and legislation also, they can do so many things to help her to breastfeed, to help a breastfeeding mother to meet her goal. And in healthcare workers, for the healthcare workers, we have so many things to do. We can support the breastfeeding mother in so many ways. Like after the birth, 42 hours, in some hospitals, 72 hours, they are in the hospital premise. And they are in our hand, as ma'am also have mentioned already about that one. So it is that we need to initiate the breastfeeding within the first hour after birth. We need to create the awareness on the benefits of breast milk. And if the mother is having some doubts and some misconception, let her clarify. And it is our responsibility to make them understand that those myths are just myths, but not helpful for the baby. And we can educate the mother the importance of a position, importance of nutrition, because the healthy mother produces more milk. Because if the mother herself is anemic, if the mother herself is unhealthy, how she is going to produce milk that will be sufficient for the baby? So we health worker, we have lots of responsibility, and in many ways we can support a breastfeeding mother. And in emergency setting, like in nowadays the COVID situation is going on. Even in the COVID, even in crisis situation like COVID pandemic, a mother can breastfeed a baby even if she is infected. It is found that the virus doesn't spread through breastfeeding, provided we take some precautions. And it is the duty of the health workers to give a proper guidance in what way, what are the steps, what are the precautions that we need to take for the COVID positive mother so that she can continue breastfeeding her baby. Okay, that's all. I came to the end of my presentation. So I think everyone should have the be aware and should have the willingness to support for the breastfeeding mother. It is so important. It is so important that not just theoretically, let us practice it practically also. And thank you. I feel very happy that I got the opportunity, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in this platform.
You have done well, Sunita.
Thank you, ma'am.
Breastfeeding, a joyful journey between the mother and the baby. Thank you, Ms. Sunita, for testifying its truth as a mother. Well, many a times breastfeeding is being considered as a mother's business and not a family's affair. So it's high time for us to make a change in our family, in our society where we live. Let us support the breastfeeding mothers that we know, maybe in our family or in our workplace. So thank you again, Ms. Sunita, for enlightening us on these topics. Moving on to our second session, we have Ms. Tune Kwame, who will be presenting on the topic breastfeeding, overall growth and development of child's health. Ms. Tune, the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sister Lasudor. A very good morning to one and all present here. It is a pleasure for me to be a part of this celebration of World Breastfeeding Week 2021. And today I'll be talking about benefits of breastfeeding for overall growth and development of the child. So I'll be sharing my slide. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So when we talk about breastfeeding, what comes in our mind is that, is this a right choice for me to breastfeed a child with my breastfeeding, or shall I go for a formula or artificial feeding? That is what it comes in our mind. So what I want to say here is that breastfeeding is the best feeding or a best meal that we can provide for the child to have their effective growth and development. So I will also like to say that this breast milk is a gold liquid. We can consider it as a gold liquid for the growth and development of the child. When we say breastfeeding means that it is a feeding of an infant or a young child directly with the female breast. We don't consider others bottle feeding or any other artificial feeding, but we consider breastfeeding as a direct feeding from the female breast. And through this breastfeeding, a child can benefit in many ways, like with a frequent and exclusive breastfeeding, a child will be able to develop themselves in growth and development, and they will be get rid of any kind of infection, any kind of disease that can harm their growth and development. When we say growth and development, growth means it is a physical growth, or it's a physical maturity where our body become bigger, our organs grow, and that can be measured. Whereas in the development is a process of changing in our psychology, emotional or social changes. So both for this physical and psychological growth, breast milk take an important, very important parts in this. So in order to get all the nutrients that a child needs for the growth and development, the child needs to get all this type of breast milk that a female body will produce. So the first one that is produced after, just after the delivery, that is in the first week following the delivery, is colostrum. This colostrum is yellow and it is thick breast milk that is rich in protein, which will help the child to grow and develop themselves. And also it is secreted in a small amount, but that small amount is more sufficient to fill the small stomach of the baby. And then colostrum is followed by transitional milk. This transitional milk is secreted in the second week or the 2 weeks following the delivery. It contains immunoglobulin that will fight against any kind of infection the child can get, and that will help them to grow and development in their body. And that that transitional milk has contain more fats and sugar, and also it will be followed by mature milk. In a mature milk, there is fore milk and hind milk. Fore milk is a milk that a child will first get when a female or when a mother started to breastfeed. Then the fore milk is a little bit watery, and that will help the child to satisfy their thirst. And then followed by a hind milk. The hind milk contains a little fat and it is thicker, and that will help the child to satisfy their hunger. So the child need all this type of breast milk in order to effectively grow and develop themselves. And that is why it is good to suggest the mother to empty to completely empty the breast and then go to the another breast, so that the child will get all the nutrients that is necessary for their growth and development. So that, as we all know, that the breastfeeding is probably, it is an ultimate one and all meal for our baby or our child for their to meet their growth and development. We can also say that this breast milk is a living substance that will change to meet the growing needs and development of the child. So this breast milk work in a different way to develop the child, like physically. The child need to grow physically, the child need to grow their brain, their body, muscle and skeletal, and also their dental. So the fats that we found in a human breast milk, it gives a biochemical that is necessary for the brain to grow, and also it helps to grow our brain as well as nervous system. And then the calcium and the protein that is found in the breast milk will help the child to grow their muscle and to grow their bones, so that the child will grow day by day, and it will help them to have effective growth and development. And then, as we all know, we have already heard from the previous speaker that the breast milk contain antibodies that will fight against any kind of harmful bacteria in the body of the child. Likewise, the antibodies that is produced from the breast milk will help to fight against the harmful microorganism in the mouth or in the oral cavity, so that the child will have a healthy dental. The child will be prevented from the risks of dental caries or any kind of tooth decay. As we all know, that when a child is born, the child doesn't develop completely. The child will start to develop day by day as he or she grow up. So like the child will start to develop like their gross motor skill, like they will learn to sit, stand, they will learn to walk in a staircase, or run, jumping or lifting or kicking. All this they will learn day by day. And then they will started to learn how to play, and then how to write, how to draw, how to color, and then they will started to learn how to tie their shoelace, their put on their button, put on their jeeps and all, and then slowly the child will start to learn language skill. They will try to speak, they will try to imitate what elders are doing. So for to develop all this skill, the child need a complete nutrients, and that nutrients can be get from a breastfeeding. So that is why it is very important to breastfeed the child instead of going for any other feeding. As we have already known that the human breast is such a substance that contain all the nutrients that is necessary for the growth and development. The mineral, the fats, the carbohydrate, the proteins, the water, all the nutrients that is present in the human breast is far more beneficial for the child than any other artificial feeding. If we go for this artificial feeding, yes, the child may get nutrients, but the child will always have a risk to go to have a diarrhea. They will have digestion problem. Then the child, when they grow up, they may end up having obesity, hypertension, or any other kind of cardiovascular diseases, and also the child may end up having diabetes. That is why the best meal, the best option to feed our baby is to go for the human breast milk. As we all know that the breast milk that we get from the human body contain my immunoglobulins such as IgA, IgM that will fight against the get, and that may affect the growth and development. So when the child get sufficient nutrients, sufficient antibodies from the breast milk, then the child will develop a healthy lifestyle. The child will be prevented from any kind of risk to get any infection, any disease, any sickness. Then there will be no any effect in your health. So the child will be able to grow effectively and develop effectively according to their age and according to their needs. And then apart from this physical development, we have already heard from our principal ma'am as well that a child needs as psychological development, means like they need a psychological support. A person, not even a child, every human being needs a good psychological development in order to have a good physical health, in order to have a healthy. And also when we breastfeed the child and the mother they started to have a skin-to-skin contact. Then they will pay attention to one another, and then they will also interact with one another through singing lullaby. Or like they will talk, they will try to communicate when they are in contact with one another feeding a child. In that case, there will be less risks of child abuse, or the child will have less risks of child negligence that will cause them a mental disorder in their later life. Like a child may get into anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, or any conduct disorder like attention deficiency, hyperactivity disorder. All this kind of mental disorder the child can develop in their later life will be prevented through this breastfeeding. So, and also when the child is having a good mental health, the child will be able to grow effectively in their body. So that is why it is very important to go for this breastfeeding. So as most of us, we are nursing students and nurses, so it is our duty to talk about or to educate the people about this breastfeeding, which is cost effective as well, which is more beneficial as well to the child. So it is good to educate our friends, our family members, our relatives in the community to go for this breastfeeding. So this is all about how breastfeeding can help in the child growth and development. Thank you. Over to you, Sister Lasridhar.
Thank you, Ms. Situne, for elaborating on the facts on the importance of breastfeeding on a child's health overall. So thank you once again. Now we'll go on to the third session. We have here two subtopics to be taken by two speakers. I would like to call upon the first speaker, Ms. Dasmilin Khongshe, who will be presenting on successful breastfeeding in public, myths and facts related to breastfeeding. This will be followed by Ms. Chainika Changmai, who will be speaking on breastfeeding challenges for working mothers. So Ms. Dasmilin, I hand over the time to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you to the organizer of this webinar. And every great day to each one of you who is attending to this webinar today. Today, I'm going to speak on the topic, the myths and the facts related to breastfeeding. We know that breastfeeding is an integral relationship between the mother and her newborn. As Mom Principal have said before, that it is an emotional bond between the mother and her newborn. Human beings, they continue to breastfeed their offspring from hundreds of thousands of years, but still there are no ill consequences related to this act. It is more than natural, and it is also a divine experience, and every mother will feel proud or will have the pride if they are able to breastfeed their baby or their newborn. But the previous speakers have speak about the inevitable benefits of breastfeeding. There are so many benefits, but still there are so many myths and so many misconceptions regarding this breastfeeding. Like if the mother is trying to breastfeed for the first time, the many person, like the relatives, their friends, they will give their opinions, they will give their ideas regarding the breastfeeding. But sometimes these ideas are correct, but sometimes it is also fun. Her baby, instead of getting those benefits from breastfeeding, they will be deprived of those benefits of breastfeeding. So let us see what are those myths that the people have regarding this breastfeeding, and what are the truth or the facts behind those myths. Let me share my screen. Those myths, let us see one by one. First is that they used to say that first milk or colostrum should not be given to the children. This is the wrong perception, or this is the wrong belief. Actually, the first milk is like the first gift, or the first thing, the best thing that the mother can give to her newborn. What is this colostrum? Colostrum is that first milk which is secreted from the mother's breast. And this milk, it is yellowish in color, and it is thick, and it is also sticky. And this colostrum, it helps to prevent the baby against many infection or against many diseases. Why? Because this it will help to boost up the immunity of the baby, because the baby immune system is still in measure on the first few days of life. But if this colostrum is given to the child, it will give protection to the children. And this colostrum is also known as the golden liquid, because why? It will give full protection to the baby or to the newborn in the first few days of his life. This colostrum, it contains so many essential vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin K, and it is very essential for the baby. And it also contains more protein, which are necessary for the growth and development of the baby. And it also contains less fat and sugar, which will prevent the child from obesity. Then the next part is that this colostrum is also full of antibodies, as I have mentioned before. So it acts as the first immunization for the child. This is the first immunization for the children. This colostrum also contains the natural laxative. So when the newborn is consuming that colostrum, so it will be easy for the bowel movement of the child, so he can pass easily the meconium. And it also contains this IgA, or the immunoglobulin A, and this immunoglobulin A is very essential for the gastrointestinal tract of the gastrointestinal tract of the child, as it will fight against those bacteria and viruses in the gastrointestinal tract, and it will prevent the child against those gastrointestinal infection. Let's see the next. See, people they use also to say that infant needs water in addition to breastfeed, but breast milk already is rich in water. This is a fact. And this breast milk, it contains about 80% of water. So this percentage of water that is present in breast milk is enough to hydrate the child. And the child don't need this extra water to be breastfeeding child. Also, they used to say that more this is very common nowadays. They used to say, because like what they see in the advertisement, oh, this formula milk, it contains so many nutrients and so many ingredients. But the fact is that the formula milk, it cannot be like breast milk at all. It is just like an imitation of breast milk with the superficial content of nutritious content as compared to the breast milk. This formula milk, we should consider it like a form of medicine rather than the nutritious food for the baby. Because why? The breast milk is directly produced from the mother's body. So if it is directly prepared from the mother's body, it contains all those living cells, all those enzymes, those growth development. Milk is the ideal nutrition for the child. The next myth is that they used to say that the mother should breastfeed if suffering from infection. There is will contract that infection if having close contact, but not through the breast milk. Because why? If the mother is having the infection, so she will develop the antibodies, and those antibodies, it won't affect much, or it the baby will get better faster. Breastfeeding. This is not true. The fact is that everyone else, this breastfeeding mother also, she need a proper balanced diet, like a normal person, because she needs to have a she needs to eat more of a balanced diet so that she can so that her body can produce more milk. Because like it should not only bland diet, because if some people they say that eating the spicy food or the highly flavored food, it will upset the gastrointestinal tract or the baby, or the baby will have the abdominal problem. But this is not true, because after the mother have digested the food, then it will be absorbed in the body, and then it will be essential for the milk production. That's why the mother need a good balanced diet while she is breastfeeding. The next myth is they used to say that a pregnant woman cannot continue breastfeeding. Yes, we used to see that many people, they become pregnant while they are breastfeeding, but but it depends on her wish. But if she wishes to continue breastfeeding, she can do that, because by giving breastfeeding, it does not affect her pregnancy, nor does it affect the fetus inside her womb, nor it affects the quality of the milk. But it depends on her. But sometimes when the woman is becoming pregnant, there are some hormones which can block the milk production. But it can block the milk production. But the mother also, if she don't have enough breast milk, then she can give complementary feeding to her child. Then the seventh myth is that they used to say that a neonate cries predominantly because of inadequate breast milk. The excessive crying of the baby is not because of inadequate breast milk alone. The baby may cry because of many reasons, such as if the baby is passing urine or stool, he may become uncomfortable, so he cries, or the baby may be having abdominal colic, or the baby may have any other infection. That's why the baby may cry. We cannot say that because of inadequate breastfeeding, the baby cries, so we need to shift to formula feed. This is not the truth. Actually, the mother should find out the cause why the baby cries. The mother will know that a baby is fed adequately if the baby can pass like 6 to 7 times, can pass urine for 6 to 7 times a day, or if the baby is gaining weight for like 500 grams a month, then this excessive crying of the baby is not because of breastfeeding, but because of other reason. So she should consult the pediatrician or the doctor. The next myth is that they used to say women with smaller breasts will not produce enough milk for the baby. This is false because the milk production does not depend on the size of the breast. Milk production, it depends upon how the baby suck the breast, so that it will stimulate those glands which are which are responsible for milk production to produce more milk. So when the baby demands more, then the mother will produce more milk. The difference in the size of the breast, whether it is smaller or big, it's because of the fats and the connective tissue. And those fats and connective tissue, they have no connection with the production of the milk. So it doesn't depend. Depend upon the size of the breast. Also, they used to say that breastfeeding is a reliable form of birth control. It is reliable only on 3 conditions. First, if the then if the mother breastfeed the baby exclusively, that is day and night, no artificial feed. And next is and number 3 is that if the mother has not returned to her period since the delivery of the baby. In this case, the breastfeeding is a reliable form of birth control. But if any of these 3 conditions, if any of this condition is not present, then we cannot rely only on breastfeeding as a form of birth control. And women have to opt for another method, or for another method of family planning, or for another device for the birth control. And the next myth is, they used to say that no drugs is safe to take while breastfeeding. This is the fact is that there are some drugs which should not be taken during the while taking breastfeeding, because those drugs, they can pass through the breastfeeding into the baby. So it is not safe. But there are some drugs like the painkillers, antibiotics, it can be taken safely even during the breastfeeding period. But before taking any medicine, a person should be aware that to avoid self-medication. And if the mother is taking any OTC medicine also, she need to see properly on those medicine strip for precautions during the breastfeeding period. And the next myth the people used to have is that this, especially now it is in this COVID situation, they say that mothers who are COVID positive should not breastfeed her baby. But the fact is, even if the mother is COVID positive, she still should continue breastfeeding. But she should take the precaution, like she should wear a proper mask, she should wash her hand properly, then she should not kiss the baby or be too close to the baby, but she can continue the breastfeeding. These are some of the myths regarding the these are some of the myths regarding the breastfeeding. There are so many myths regarding the breastfeeding. So if the people they don't understand regarding these myths, so there will be failure of breastfeeding, or the baby will be deprived of those benefits of breastfeeding. That's why, as a healthcare professional, we should encourage, or we should educate the public regarding the benefits of breastfeeding. With this, I came to the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone.
We are living in the 21st century, yet we still dwell in a world which is surrounded by myths. Especially in the rural areas, we still have communities which are filled with myths related to breastfeeding. So thank you, Ms. Dasmillan, for pointing out to us which are the myths to be avoided and which are the facts to be accepted. So moving on, we have Ms. Chainika Changmai, who will be speaking on the second subtopic, successful breastfeeding in public, breastfeeding challenges for working mothers. Ms. Chainika.
Thank you, Lasidor. Good afternoon to everyone. I welcome you all to today's session, that is the on World's Breastfeeding Week. So, as we have already heard about and have learned about the importance and benefits of breastfeeding, so I would just like to also highlight about the challenges which the breastfeeding working mothers they usually face during in their workplace. So, I would like to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So my topic is breastfeeding challenges for working mothers. So breastfeeding challenges for the working mothers, the mothers especially, they want to be like any other women in this world, but there are certain problems which arises while they are in their workplace. Continuing to breastfeed after returning to work is a serious issue for new mothers. The benefits of breastfeeding for the first 6 to 12 months of life are established, yet most breastfeeding mothers wean their infants when they return to work. So the first challenge which we see is time factor. So why 24 hours is still less for the breastfeeding working mothers? Why time is the biggest issue for the breastfeeding working mothers? It is because the mothers they are the backbone of the family. So they require more time because she has to get everything done, be it all her routine works like breastfeeding her baby, looking after her family members, doing all the household chores, and getting back to their work, etc. So her routine work is not reduced. Her boss or her employer is not going to give her minimal work just because she is breastfeeding. The workload will be the same. The responsibility of care for sick children is usually on the mothers. If she does not take care of her child, she will feel guilty because she puts her work ahead of her children. And mostly due to her hectic work schedules in workplace, she will be feeling stressed and exhausted. After when she returns back home, she will feel tired to breastfeed her baby and might switch to formula feeding. So, and moreover, because of the baby, they get continuous feeding, even suddenly at middle of the night, also the mother, she does not get enough time to sleep because she has to feed her little baby. So because of that, she cannot give comfort to her body also. So in order to overcome the situation, the mother should have a balanced life between her baby as well as her work. So the mother should have uh, patience. Okay, and then the mother must avoid multitasking and should focus on a particular work only, and give the utmost priority to her breastfeeding child whenever she is free. So she must make the baby. She must take care of her baby, and if the baby is half breastfed, also she must feed her properly so that the baby does not wake up in odd times. So when the mothers, they resume back to the work, the mother can invest on a good breast pump. So what is exactly a breast pump? So a breast pump is a machine that can be used to express breast milk. It consists of a breast phalange or shield which fits over the nipple, and the expressed milk is collected. A good quality pump can pump around for 20 to 30 minutes. It can be used even when the mother is facing, pain due to engorgement of breast, or also, and it also helps the mothers who wants to go for their regular job. She can schedule her pumping sessions in a calendar. So she must invest on a good breast pump. She should start expressing her milk well in advance, which can be stored in normal temperature for at least 6 to 8 hours, and also can be stored in refrigerator for at least 4 days, and in deep freezer it can be kept for 3 months. So the breast milk which is stored is in the deep freezer, it does not lose its nutritional value. So it all takes a little extra effort and time on the mother's part, to go back to her work without any tension. So the next challenge is lack of family support. So if the mother and the husband, both of them are staying in a nuclear family and both of them are working, then it becomes a burden for the mother as well as the father to look after the baby. So they will have to rely on somebody else to take care of their baby. In case if a working mother is a divorcee and has a baby to look after, that then of course she won't be getting any support from her in-laws or her husband in order to look after the baby. So she will be mentally disturbed and won't give too much attention on breastfeeding her baby. She will often lose confidence also and feel helpless and more overwhelmed, and win from breastfeeding earlier than their original goal. So it can also be due to poor family background, low socioeconomic conditions, or lack of prenatal education on breastfeeding. The mothers neglects the feed for the baby properly. So how to overcome this situation? So the mother should have proper antenatal counseling before she gives birth to her child. Before planning pregnancy, she must understand what problems might arise and how will she face after that. She must be mentally prepared before itself, so that she can overcome the situation. Also, she needs to have full support from her loved ones and her family members in order to function properly. Only a supportive family member will help the mother fulfill her breastfeeding goal. The next challenge is job insecurity. That is fear of losing the job. So, although as per Central Civil Service rules in India, women are employed in government jobs and get 6 months maternity leave with full pay, during which they can take care of the baby and breastfeed at any given time, at any point of time. But what if it's in a case of a temporary or a contractual, a mother uh, who is working in a temporary and contractual job? The mother will have constant fear of losing her job because the job is not permanent and it won't allow her to pay more attention on her baby at home. So as soon as possible, she will try to avoid breastfeeding. And in certain situations, if the mother is only the sole owner in the family, the tension of losing the job is more. But whatever the situation is, the mother should be able to give priority first to her child, and later the work comes. So she must be able to cope with her situation. It is important to understand that both these jobs are extremely demanding, and to do justice to each without neglecting the other is a formidable task. So continued breastfeeding provides health and psychosocial benefits also to the mother and the baby. The next is problems in workplace. So if the workplace has facilities that accommodates the working mothers, but many other companies have been implemented flexible hours for their employees. It is very much important to have employers who are pro-family and can foster a company culture that is empathetic to the needs of the mothers returning back to work after birth. So she might encounter one out of several co-workers who will not support her or help her. They will judge her in either way. Some of them might even think it is unfair if they see the mother getting more breaks for breastfeeding her baby. Then they might misunderstand the concept of breastfeeding. So the solution here is to speak up. The women should speak up for her own rights. Sometimes the employees in the office may may not be aware of the importance of breastfeeding, the mother should speak her struggles and letting them know about the benefits of breastfeeding. The mother should maintain an open and honest communication with the supervisors in order to ensure that the performances and the productivity remains constant. Next is change in the lifestyle. So in change in the lifestyle, there is no denying it. After having a child, a mother's priorities changes, because of which she changes herself. The person she was before will not be the person she is in present. So breastfeeding requires significant mental and emotional commitment as well as investment in time. You know, the mother may not, the mother may need to sacrifice the me time, be it just like to have food at the right time, or to perform her hobbies, or go out for shopping, go hanging out with her friends. So she won't be able to do that because she has to sacrifice that time, which should be devoted to her breastfeeding baby. The mother should spend enough time to express milk or make special efforts to take care of the baby. So in between that, the mother should know how to manage her time in her house as well as at her workplace. Okay, so the mother should not should not fear to lose her identity. Whenever she gets time, whenever she gets time, she should always get involved in her day-to-day activities. The other thing is that the mother should breastfeed her baby properly and should look after the baby and maintain a certain schedule or maintain a routine, so that the baby does not disturb, or the baby does not wake up at odd times. So she must maintain a proper routine and manage her problems. It is a very hectic schedule, but the mother should prepare herself and plan herself to make time for her day-to-day activities also properly. So next we have, that is the crochet facility. That is, what is the crochet facility? This crochet facility is a facility which enables the parents to leave their children while they are at work, and when the children they can inculcate themselves in those works, like in that facility is provided for stimulating the environment. So every establishment have 50 or more employees to have a crochet facility. Because of this crochet facility, the women will be, she will be tension free. She will be able to do her work also, and she will be able to manage her baby also. So the women is also allowed to visit at least 4 times a day to the crochet, which will include the interval for rest allowed to her. The period of maternity benefit. It is mutually agreed between mother and the employer. Therefore, the mother will get enough time to breastfeed her baby as well as continue with her work patiently at home. It will be beneficial for the employers also to keep their best employees, so that less money is spent hiring and training the new employees. Next, we come to the maternity benefits. So what are these maternity benefits? These are the benefits which regulates the employment of women before and after childbirth. Okay, maternity benefits is full paid absence of work. That is, the first is the cash benefit. That is, the cash benefit, that is, the women gets a leave of 6 months. That is 8 weeks before the expected delivery and 18 weeks after the expected date of delivery, which we call as maternity leave, with full pay, and a medical bonus also she gets. Then the other is the non-cash benefits. So there will be no discharge or dismissal when on maternal leave. Light work for the mother will be allowed to do light work for 10 weeks before delivery, and there will be no charge to be made on her in any of the conditions to her job while on maternal leave. So there will be 2 nursing breaks also until the child becomes 15 months old. And there will be no deduction from the normal and usual daily wages of a woman in the maternity benefit under the Maternity Act. The next is the legal obligations under the Maternity Act. So what are the legal obligations? That is, no employer shall work or knowingly employ a woman in establishment during 6 weeks following date of her delivery. No woman shall work in any establishment during the 6 weeks immediately like before the 6 weeks following date of her delivery. Then it shall be an unlawful for her employer to discharge or dismiss her on account of such misconduct. So with this, I would just like to conclude my topic by saying that breastfeeding is the ideal nutrition to the baby. So when the mothers breastfeed their babies, the baby is entitled to enjoy the right to good health. Simultaneously, the mother will also be away from many diseases. They don't have to be insecure about the job because they will be given maternity leaves and other facilities once they are pregnant and will be able to continue breastfeeding her child whenever they want. Last but not the least, no matter what breastfeeding challenges working mother faces, she must know that it is possible to continue her breastfeeding journey with the right set of attitude, knowledge, and practice coupled with supportive environments. Breastfeeding can become a natural part of a mother's working life. So I end with this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Chainika, for your presentation. Well, breastfeeding is quite a serious issue, a challenging issue in this competitive world. So I believe that the working mothers who are present here with us today have very much benefited from your presentation. So thank you again, Ms. Chainika. So now we have come to the end of the session of these talks. So now we'll have a quick interactive session. So I request the participants, if you have any queries, any clarification, or any question you would like to put forward, please feel free to do so. Anyone? You are welcome to throw any query or any question that you have to the presenters.
I think no questions are there.
Okay.
I just would like to appreciate each of the speakers. They really spoke very well, and I appreciate their presentation, the PPT preparation. It's really very interesting and attractive too. I hope you all the speakers will do much better. And from my side, I just want to congratulate organizing committee and thank you all the participants and anchor, of course, doing her best. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your
Thank you
kind
so much.
words. So, well, we have come to the end of the session. So now I'd like to call on Ms. Suranjita Das to propose the vote of thanks. Ms. Suranjita, are you there?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone present here. I am Suranjita Das, second year post-basic BSc Nursing from AINE. First of all, I would like to thank Ma'am Unmona Borgohai Saikia, Principal of AINE, Ma'am Arlene Beshra, Assistant Professor of AINE, and entire faculty members of AINE for organizing this event, the speakers, and all the participants. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all the dignitaries on behalf of the Asian Institute of Nursing Education. I extend a warm welcome to all the people. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of this webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Principal Ma'am to take out time from her busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your words on this day. I must thank all the 4 speakers for their valuable contribution and enlightening us on the various topics related to breastfeeding. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants from different institutes for being a part of this webinar, because without your participation, this webinar will not be a successful one. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success.
Thank you, Ms. Suranjita. Well, we have come to the end of this session, and I hope and I believe that this has been a productive session for each and every one of us, the mothers and the future mothers who are present here with us. I believe and I do request that we shall not put it just here, just in learning or just in theory, but let's put it into practice one day when we'll have family of our own, or even to the mothers who have had family, and to the daddies and the future daddies who have joined us today. It's my request that you put the insight with the knowledge which you have developed from this session, you put it into practice in your family, in your future family, so that this World Breastfeeding Week celebration will be a successful one. So thank you once again, one and all, for joining us today in this event. And we have come to the end. So have a good day. Happy Breastfeeding Week, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.